Folks, Andrew here of Go Pro Wrestling, reporting here for Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard and Conrad Thompson. New episodes every Friday at noon. Thank you so much, X-Pac. Really appreciate your time.
I'm happy to do it.
Now, what were your first memories of meeting Bruce Pritchard, and what was he like working with you?
I knew Bruce from GWF, Global Wrestling Federation, the Sportatorium in Dallas. And actually, funny story, because Joe Pedicino started GWF, and they had a storyline that there was a guy named The Boss, and he was a mystery manager. And so I remember Bruce leaving WWF at the time when he was Brother Love, and I remember actually talking to Joe Pedicino and go, oh, that'd be cool if The Boss ended up being Bruce Pritchard. And Bruce ended up coming to work with us at GWF, and it was pretty cool. I don't remember if he was ever the boss or not, though. But he was on commentary, and he was, that was my first memories of knowing Bruce. And then we got to work together in WWF. Okay. So, yeah. I
wanted to switch gears and talk about your teacher, the late and great Boris Malenko. One of my favorite feuds in WCW was with you as Six when you were feuding and having matches with Dean Malenko. What was that like wrestling with Dean Malenko, and could you share a memory of his father, Boris Malenko?
He was like my father, actually. I didn't have a father growing up, so I clinged to father figures at different times of my life, and he was one of them. And he was so good to me, and I didn't have money, and I was 15 years old, and I wanted to be a wrestler. And if you looked at me, pretty much everyone that looked at me didn't really see much potential. And I'm not really sure if he did or not, but he had compassion and wanted to, he didn't want to crush my dreams. So, he trained me, and I couldn't have had a better wrestling teacher. Probably the best. And I've seen some great wrestling teachers throughout the years, and I say he's as good as better than anyone I've ever.
What was the number one thing that he taught you that you still cling on to this day?
Well, there's a lot of things, but the way that he taught the basics to people, and just he was so good at communicating with his students, with the new students, and explaining he would break each move down into separate movements, and it's hard for me to explain, but I don't really see I don't see it being taught that way now, and it really helped with protecting the guys you're in there wrestling, and that was one of the most important things. And also just great Malenko. If you talk to guys like Terry Funk, they'll tell you he was one of the greatest, if not the best promo guy they'd ever seen. Amazing talker, and just incredible psychology, and the great Malenko and Eddie Graham pretty much made the Florida territory in the late 60s.
How cool is it that your buddies like Scott Hall and Kevin Nash always credited you in the WWF at the time in the early 90s, that when any time a new guy came in, that you were like the guy that would see if that guy could work?
Yeah, that was cool. It was nice to be the measuring stick when it came to guys. It was just, they would come in, and say Jeff Jarrett's over there. I saw you talking to him earlier. I think I might have been Jeff's first singles matches when he came in. And so, they would work with me for 6 weeks, and then, okay, maybe they would go on and work with Scott, and then, okay, maybe Sean or Kev or whoever was the champ, and that's kind of how it worked.
Is it true that Sean or Kev, when you go back through the curtain, they would say, hey, is he good or bad?
No, I mean, that's just, kind of a figure of, it didn't really go like that for the most part. But, back to Dean Malenko, I was too busy talking about his father, and Dean was my teacher as well, and then, his father passed away in 90, I believe it was 92.
95?
Oh, 90.
Or 94, I'm sorry.
Yeah, 94. And so, I kind of incorporated that into the angle that I was doing with Dean. I talked about his father, and, there was a little bit of, realness to the whole thing, and Dean was awesome in the ring. And if being taught in his style, it was just kind of it was so comfortable in there with him, and it was his first match on Super Brawl in San Francisco,
Right.
and from the Cow Palace, and the crowd was.
You won the cruiserweight title.
I did, and if you go back and watch it, Eddie Guerrero came out at the finish, and we had a tug of war with the belt, right? And then the ref was Brian Hildebrand, Mark Curtis, may he rest in peace. He turned just at the right time, so when the belt hit Dean, he didn't see it, and the timing was perfect. It was really cool.
Was the NWO one of your favorite times, or DX?
They are both great, and people ask me that all the time. I told you
No. What's your favorite color?
Yeah,
I know.
that's the
But
same
what is
thing.
your what is your favorite
No,
color?
dude.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
All right. We can't ask the same questions that everyone asks. Everyone's already asked DX NWO about 1 million times. Shame.
I'm sorry. I apologize. To close, just wanted to ask you. We've seen a lot of your Kliq buddies, with the exception of Triple H. I know we'll see him in the Hall of Fame. Hall of Famer indeed. When are we going to see you in the Hall of Fame?
No one's asked me that one either ever.
Yeah.
No. I don't think about it really. I'm grateful if they ask me, and obviously I would accept. But I would be very nervous to get up there and give a speech, and it definitely wouldn't be a Hillbilly Jim speech. Everybody.
Here's a question a lot of people
This
have.
went 47 minutes. Mine would go 47 seconds.
Well, I think you deserve a lot more than 47 seconds.
I definitely would, in the spirit of brevity and the spirit of everyone having to go to work the next day, we would keep it to about 10 minutes.
But I would greatly appreciate your time. Is there anything fans, your podcast, to talk about that? Like, how often do you film your shows?
My show is called X-Block 12360. You can watch it on YouTube or subscribe to it on iTunes, Google Play, pretty much everywhere except Stitcher, I think. And we're with Westwood One. Westwood One's been fantastic. And we're going to be at StarCast 18, all in.
All right, Jeff Jarrett will be there. It just came back to me now, the great question that nobody ever asks, really. Hopefully not. You got compared to Billy Kidman a lot during the 90s, and we saw you wrestle him at Invasion.
I'm pretty sure he got compared to me. Get it straight.
Well, that's what I meant, right.
All right.
But did you see a lot of talent in him before you wrestled him?
Yeah, it's fantastic, for sure. Well, I wrestled him in WCW, and from the time I wrestled him, he was just putting me over. From the time I had him in that match till the time he came to WWE and I wrestled him there, he got so much better. Wasn't even funny.
Thank you so much for joining us, X-Pac. Really do
Thank you,
appreciate it.
Suck it.